I'm going to go ahead and warn you guys right off the bat that this is a heartbreaking story. In fact, when I saw this news break yesterday, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to talk about it. Because it's almost hard not to have some sort of emotional connection here when discussing this story. Some stories you cover and it's like, okay, whatever. But some stories, it's like, it really hits you hard emotionally. And I was just hoping that I wouldn't have to touch on this story. But now I feel like I have to because, well, I guess you'll find out in just a moment. But for those of you all who haven't heard yet, you're lucky. Yesterday in Chatham, Illinois, a black Jeep plowed right through a after-school program building. Now, at the time that this happened, it was unclear what in the hell was going on here. Was there a drunk, intoxicated person behind the wheel? Was someone targeting someone inside of that building? Was this a random terror attack? No one knew, but tragically, we did know that 3 young kids lost their lives and 1 teenager. And there are also other people injured. I think there are still, at the time of this recording, people in critical condition clinging on to life as we speak. But like I said, when this news broke, it was unclear what the motive was, what really happened here. It was unclear who was behind the wheel. But there were all of these rumors floating around online. People saying, oh, the person behind the wheel was drunk and they failed a sobriety test. There were all of these rumors, and I wasn't sure what was true and what was not true. And I was just waiting for more official information before I decided if I would talk about the case or not. Now, the reason I decided to talk about the case is because, look, I was assuming that whatever the reason was, whoever was behind the wheel, whatever the motive was, drunk or not drunk, you're targeting to someone or not, it doesn't even matter. I was just assuming, and I think it's safe to assume, that whoever was driving the car would be arrested, that they would be behind bars right now. They were responsible for the deaths of 4 people. But apparently, the woman who was behind the wheel is not behind bars right now. She has not yet been arrested. She is walking free amongst the public as we speak after mowing down 3 little kids at an after-school program and also killing a teenager. And like I said, there's still people clinging on to life as we speak. So now I feel like, yeah, I definitely got to talk about this because why in the hell is this woman not in jail? It makes absolutely no sense at all. But let's go ahead and dive into a little more information here because the woman responsible for this, the woman behind the wheel, has now been identified. Girls mowed down by mom of 2 who plowed into after-school club as driver Marianne Akers remains free. A school food service worker was behind the wheel of a car that plowed through an after-school program and killed 3 young kids and a teen. Marianne Akers' black Jeep rammed straight through the Why Not Outdoors Summer and After School Camp in Chatham, Illinois at about 3:20 p.m. on Monday. Catherine Corley and Alma Bonerkemp, both 7, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing these names, both 7, and Ainsley Grace Johnson and Riley Brenton died from blunt force trauma injuries, the coroner said. So Catherine Corley and Alma, they're both 7. Ainsley is 8 and Riley is 18. 6 other kids were injured, one of whom is still in critical condition. 2 of them were identified as Mia and Emma. Brenton, who was soon to study English and secondary education at Iowa University, was one of the high school seniors who helped run the program. Akers, 44, was filmed in handcuffs with her hair in a messy bun and wearing a dark gray t-shirt. She was uninjured despite crashing through a wall. But police said she was taken to a local hospital for evaluation with toxicology results still pending and was not under arrest. Akers is not in custody at this time as the cause of the crash remains under investigation. I gotta pause right there. I'm at a loss for words here, so you have to bear with me, folks. I can't fathom why she's not in jail right now. Like, at least keep her behind bars while you figure out what happened here. And in my mind, I can't think of many scenarios where she's not at fault here. Like, unless this is some type of self-driving Jeep and like Elon Musk himself controlled the car or something like that, unless this is some type of weird glitch in an electric self-driving vehicle, I can't think of how, like, what else do you guys need to decide? Like, even, okay, maybe she wasn't drunk. That doesn't make this okay. You can't, oh, don't worry, guys, I'm sober. It's okay. I drove through the preschool or the after school program. It's okay, guys. I'm not drunk. That's not how this works. So I don't know what exactly they need to figure out here. And this is a problem that I've been calling out. How you have people that commit these crazy crimes and some of them aren't arrested and some of them are released right back on the streets. At the very least, y'all need to be holding this woman somewhere. Because for all we know, she could have had like a mental break really quickly and just snapped and did what she did and then tried to pretend like she was normal once the cops arrived. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I don't know anything yet. But I don't understand the thought process that goes behind, okay, we're just going to, release her. We'll see if we'll charge her later. Nah, I think you need to hold on to this woman. But let's go further. The Chatham Police Department debunked rampant social media rumors that Akers was drunk and failed a field sobriety test after the crash. This is not true. Please stop sharing this. The department's Facebook page commented on a post claiming Akers was arrested for a suspected DUI. Akers is a food service worker at Chatham Elementary School and a mother of 2 children, a teenage boy and girl. So she's a food service worker at the elementary school. This happened literally right around, I don't know when kids get out of school in Chatham, Illinois. But, kids often get out of school around like 2:30, 3:30-ish, right? This happened around that time frame, around the 3:30-ish time frame, right? And she's a food service worker. I'm assuming that maybe she was leaving work. I guess she's like a lunch lady or something like that. I'm assuming that she was leaving work at the elementary school after school got out. And then somewhere along the way, she plows right through this building. Now, is this some sort of like what your clothing got caught on the gas pedal or something like that? There's obviously, details here that we don't know yet, but I'm just thinking about what details there could be that would cause law enforcement to decide, hey, we're going to send you home when we have 3 young kids dead and a teenager. And I'm wondering how the community there feels about this. How do the parents who just lost their kids feel about this? It's like I said, I'm almost at a loss for words here. But the words that I can muster are, this woman needs to be in jail for sure. But let's go forward. Ainsley's grandfather, Galen Johnson, mourned her online with a photo of her in an adorable fancy dress outfit. Words alone cannot express the pain we in the Johnson family are feeling with the loss of granddaughter Ainsley Grace Johnson. Love you, Squirt, he wrote. Ainsley was a dancer at Studio M Dance Center, where her teacher Maria Clark promised to always remember her. Ainsley brought so much light and joy into my class. She always gave me a little hip-hop tude, and I lived for it, she said. Her smile was so bright. Her personality was already so big at such a young age, and she danced like she meant it. I will forever keep Ainsley in my heart. Brenton was a senior at Glenwood High School, and like many of the students who helped run the program, planned to be a teacher. One of my favorite things about her was how she was unconditionally nice to everyone, a classmate said. She was super intelligent and always made people laugh. 3 of the victims were hit by the Jeep as they stood outside the building, while the 4th person who died was inside the building, police said. The 6 injured kids were rushed to the hospital, including one with injuries so severe they had to be airlifted for treatment. Post-mortem procedures done today indicate that they all died from multiple blunt force injuries sustained in the accident, Sangamon County Coroner Jim Allman said. Akers is understood to have crashed her car into the east side of the school facility with such force that it burst out the other side of the building seconds later. The cause of the crash remains under investigation, but this does not appear to be a targeted attack, Illinois State Police said. The program is designed for school-aged kids and is run by college students and very mature high school seniors, most of whom have ambitions themselves of one day becoming educators. A fundraiser for the victims and their families has already attracted more than $75,000 in donations. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker expressed his horror on Monday afternoon, writing, "Parents said goodbye to their kids this morning, not knowing it would be the last time. Our community lost a group of bright and innocent young people with their whole lives ahead of them. Let's wrap our arms around the community tonight as we receive updates on the situation." Devastated locals recalled the moments their neighbors, friends, and loved ones learned of the tragedy and rushed to the scene. Watching people sprint past your house, not knowing if their kids are safe or not, is a gut-wrenching experience. My heart aches for everyone, one person wrote. Employees and volunteers at the local blood bank, Impact Life, urged locals to give blood this week, as they drained much of their stockpile helping victims of the crash. After the tragic events today, the blood bank is running low. Please, if you're able to go donate, one woman wrote. Another said, I work at the blood center and we had to pack up so much of our supply for this. So please, if you can donate blood, any of it, do it. Illinois Senator Doris Turner said she was heartbroken by the tragedy. When we drop our kids off in the morning, we should always have the utmost belief that they will come home safely at the end of the day, she wrote. For some families, that belief was shaken today, following the tragedy at YNOT in Chatham. I am heartbroken. There are truly no words to explain what the Chatham community is feeling and will feel for days, weeks, months, and even years to come. I want to thank the first responders, law enforcement, and volunteers. The local Chick-fil-A has offered all first responders a free meal on Monday and Tuesday in response to the tragedy. YNOT, which stands for Youth Needing Other Things, is a summer and after-school camp offering 3 hours of care for busy parents with little ones. The Chatham Baptist Church has become the makeshift reunification point for families who have children at the YNOT. So we have 4 young people here that tragically lost their lives in this situation. And the person behind the wheel still not in jail. Now, I've looked into things, I've reached out, and as far as what law enforcement has to say, they say they have no further information at this time when it comes to this case. They say it's still an open investigation. They say that they have no reason to believe that this was a targeted attack. And they're also shooting down every rumor out there about there being a DUI or this woman failing a field sobriety test. So police are basically saying that, hey, this has nothing to do with, her being drunk. And this is not a targeted attack. They're saying that they can't provide any more information right now. But my question is, what piece of information are you sitting on that makes you feel okay with this woman being out of jail right now? Y'all say that it's not a DUI. Y'all say this is not a targeted attack. Okay, cool. What do you know that makes you feel confident about allowing this woman to still be out of jail? Because I feel like I'm hoping that they got something, right? And whatever that something is, it probably wouldn't be enough for me to say, oh, well, I guess that's okay, But do y'all have something that is making y'all feel confident, like, oh, maybe we shouldn't charge her right now. Maybe she shouldn't be in jail right now. Because looking at this situation, I can't even fathom a reason why this woman is not in custody or was never even taken into custody. She was put in handcuffs at the scene. They took her for medical treatment and then sent her home. Meanwhile, there are people all across the country going to jail for way less. There are people sitting behind bars for parking tickets right now. There are literally thousands of people in America sitting in jail right now because of parking tickets. Meanwhile, this woman plows her Jeep through an after-school program and kills 4 kids, and she's sitting at home drinking coffee and Starbucks, watching The View. For real, can anyone watching this video explain to me why they think this woman is not in jail? Can anyone explain to me why, in what world would it be okay for this woman to not have any charges at all? Because like I said, outside of this being a self-driving vehicle that just did it itself, I can't think of much. So yeah, I don't know, folks. I don't know what to tell you. But what I can tell you is that I'm going to keep my eyes on this situation for sure. Because something ain't right here. Something's going on here. And hopefully soon some more information will start to trickle out. Because ain't no way in hell that this woman is walking around free right now as these families are mourning the loss of their kids. But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. If you would like to support the channel, you could do so via Cash App or Super Thanks, or you can support the channel for free by liking the video, sharing the video, and subscribing. But with that being said, I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.